13 News at 5 does begin tonight with breaking news. 4 people, including 2 students and 2 teachers, are now dead after a shooting at a high school in Georgia.
Another 9 people are hurt, and in the last 30 minutes, police say the 14-year-old suspect who is under arrest is also a fellow student. The shooting happened around 9:30 this morning at Appalachian High School in Winder. It's about an hour northeast of Atlanta.
Video from above shows students there rushing outside to safety. You can also see several ambulances and the massive police response.
Students describe this terrifying situation.
And I heard screaming and everything. At first, I thought it was like someone just like playing around in the hallways or something. I thought it was like someone just yelling or something. So I didn't think much of it. But then like it got harder. The noise kept getting louder and louder. And I was like, no guys. I told everybody to get down because this like you don't joke around with that, you know. So then we got in a corner. Some girls started crying, and then like I was like, calm down. And then the teacher, she was shaking and everything. I was like, no, it's gonna be okay, because if you tell yourself it's gonna be okay.
A high school received a phone call this morning warning there would be shootings at 5 schools, and this high school would be the first.
Investigators have yet to reveal whether or not they know a motive for the shooting. Also, they're working to figure out how the shooter got the gun on campus.
A parent's worst nightmare. We're going to continue to follow this breaking news over the next 90 minutes. We're also going to take you live to any news conferences as they happen. We're monitoring this down in Georgia. You can also watch those on our website as well, WTHR.com, as well as our free news app.
Also tonight at 5, breaking news right here in central Indiana. A huge decision came down today in the Deli Murders case.
A judge has essentially struck down the main defense. Richard Allen and his attorneys want to argue at his upcoming murder trial. Senior investigative reporter Bob Siegel joins us now.
And certainly this is a big deal, Bob, today. Can you kind of lay out for viewers what this means for the case?
Yeah, well, the defense strategy has been very clear. They claim that police arrested the wrong guy and that someone else murdered Abby Williams and Libby German back in 2017. They say they have evidence to prove it. Well, today, Judge Francis Gall issued an order deciding that a jury will not be able to hear any of that evidence. While Richard Allen has been behind bars awaiting trial for nearly 2 years, his attorneys have been crafting his defense. That defense includes collecting evidence that they claim shows 2 Delphi teenagers were killed not by Allen, but instead as part of a ritualistic sacrifice committed by followers of a pagan religion called Odinism. Today, Judge Francis Gall delivered a blow to that defense strategy. She granted a motion by the prosecutor that prohibits Allen's defense team from introducing any evidence that the girls' murders were linked to Odinism or a ritualistic sacrifice. And the judge said the defense cannot mention any of the 9 people they've developed as possible alternate suspects. Judge Gall wrote, "The court finds the defense has failed to produce admissible evidence demonstrating a nexus between Odinism, cult or ritualistic killing, the alternate suspects, and the murders." She went on to say the court will not permit the evidence submitted by the defense, as the value of such evidence is greatly outweighed by confusion of the issues and its potential to mislead the jury.
It's hard for me to wrap my head around that.
Katie Jackson-Lindsay is our 13 News legal analyst. What does this mean for Richard Allen and his defense team?
It does put them at a huge disadvantage, and it will require, I would think, a lot of adjusting, a lot of redeveloping their defense, and really sitting down and deciding, okay, what is our defense now? Because we know from all of the public pleadings that their defense is they have the wrong guy.
Jackson-Lindsay says she's surprised by the judge's latest ruling, especially because at a recent hearing, we saw evidence showing even Indiana State Police looked into Odinism as they investigated the Delphi murders. And an expert witness on ritualistic crimes testified for the defense. She's absolutely certain Odinism was involved in the murders based on photos from the crime scene.
They are sitting on this evidence that they know is in existence, and they never get to allow the jury to see that. So absolutely, they're at a huge disadvantage in terms of representing their client. And as a defense, you absolutely if you have evidence or you have information that someone else is the bad actor, that someone else committed this crime, you have to be able to present that. So this ruling absolutely undercuts the opportunity to do that, and it's just not something that you see happen often.
Now, in her ruling, the judge says she will allow Allen's defense to try again a trial to show a direct link between the Odinism evidence and the alternate suspects, but that will have to happen with the jury not in the courtroom. And if that attempt fails, the jury will not hear any of that evidence at all. So the only benefit of that is Allen and his attorneys will get the evidence into the trial record so that it could be considered down the road if Allen is convicted and he chooses to appeal.
So it seems like there have been a lot of rulings against Richard Allen lately.
Yeah, there had. Just last week, the judge ruled that the jury will be allowed to hear more than 60 confessions that Allen allegedly made while he was in prison. That was a win for the prosecutor. Today's decision, another big win for the prosecutor. We'll now see if the defense is going to shift their strategy, and they don't have a lot of time to do it. The trial is scheduled to begin in just 6 weeks.
Right, 7.5 years for justice in this case.
It's been a long time. We're waiting here 6 weeks. Of course, we will be at the courthouse, in the courtroom when the trial happens, and we're expecting it to start in the middle of October.
Yep, in Carroll County. Thank you so much, Bob.
You can read more about today's developments and see our past coverage of the case online. Scan this QR code here. It'll take you to WTHR.com/Delphi. Angela?
Felicia, as expected, a warmer afternoon for central Indiana. Plenty of sunshine and temperatures back into the 80s. We have 85 degrees in Indianapolis, 81 Kokomo, 86 Bloomington and Shelbyville, and currently 85 degrees in Richmond. Our Fever back home for a nice long home stand. Go Fever, the tip-off is 7 o'clock. Temperatures will be in the low to mid 80s as everyone heads into Gainbridge Fieldhouse. As we look ahead at the next several days, our main concern centers around Friday and some rain and storm chances. I'll have the local analysis in a few minutes.
Angela, thank you so much. And there is a lot of excitement surrounding tonight's Indiana Fever game.
And that's because for the first time since 2016, the Fever officially are playoffs bound. And the team's longtime fans, as well as those who just discovered this team this year and all their success, are ready to go cheer them on to victory. Rich Nye's been talking to some of those very big, loyal Fever fans this afternoon.
He joins us live outside of Gainbridge Fieldhouse. He's at Bicentennial Unity Plaza. Hey, Rich.
And those fans are just now starting to arrive here and get up their pregame shots before tonight's game against the Los Angeles Sparks. And when you look out there, what do you see? A lot of fans with 22 jerseys, 22 t-shirts on. Of course, that's the number of the rookie sensation, Caitlin Clark. The Fever play their next 6 games here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and it's become a full house, enthusiastic crowd every time the Fever take the court. And there's no question the biggest reason for that is number 22, the rookie Caitlin Clark. This afternoon at the team store just outside the Fieldhouse, I found fans from all over the country and Canada buying up that merchandise, the 22 merchandise. Many people are making a Fever game in Indianapolis part of their summer vacation.
It's a phenomenon.
It's a Caitlin fever.
It's a phenomenon.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, it's just like that with any sport with somebody that's really, really, really great.
Her skill, like, it's just unprecedented. Her passing game, her shooting game, her tenacity. I mean, it's something I haven't really even seen in the NBA, let alone the WNBA.
I was worried about those first few games. You're going to make me cry. Those first few games when she kind of got knocked around and stuff, she was the rookie, and she kind of knew that was going to happen. But now I think she's taken the world by storm, or at least her team.
We've heard some incredible numbers about the Fever impact this year. This one blew me away. The team tells me that sales of team merchandise are up 700% year to year, and they continue to have a hard time keeping those number 22 jerseys in stock. We're back here live at Bicentennial Unity Plaza. I talked to 2 women from Iowa who stopped here on their way to Outer Banks, North Carolina. So this is one of their vacation stops. They and so many others recognize that Caitlin Clark is certainly a generational star in women's basketball, perhaps in sports, period. And we're seeing that now with the way she's playing and the way she's leading this team now to a winning record.
Certainly a transformational impact on the Indiana Fever so far. Thank you, Rich.